Hello, everybody. This is Howard, the Teaserking, coming to you with Week 4 of the NFL 2021. Um, I must say, I had a vision last night in college. Uh, I was watching Arkansas, Texas A&M, and it just hit me to bet the under in the Arkansas Georgia game. So I'm giving you that pick. Uh, Tease it, and I'll give you some picks in the NFL. Or I have a lock. I have a big lock going, college pro lock this week. Um, Two games that are just outstanding. I like about 8, 9 college games that are uh, should be good. That good matchups that I talked about in my college picks or my college video. Uh, Now we're getting a little bit more into the pros. We kind of see what's going on. We get a better feel of the teams. Basically, I just highlight who are the rookie quarterbacks that are playing and betting against them. Jacksonville, the Jets, and New England. And then if you get a boost, like if Fields plays, Chicago gets added. Mills now for Houston. He's worse than the rest of them. So that because they don't know what they're doing. There's no way me and you could walk into a job and go from college doing little college, and then now you're in a job and it's professional. You can't. You need at least a year learning curve. You can't learn it and go out, especially football. Right? It's the same as college as pros. I mean, forget about it. So that's really, I mean, but that's a simple theory. Just bet against them until they can show you something, and they'll be like, to me, Justin Herbert came in and he lit it right up. He didn't need time, so why is he able to do that? And then Lawrence and Fields and these other guys, they need time. I mean, Herbert didn't need time. That just shows you how good Herbert is and shows you how bad these other ones are. Not that they should start. Mahomes took a year, and I think that's what you should do. None of these guys should be playing this year, or it should just be a very quick mop up at the end of a game if they're blowing out or getting blown out. But none of them should be playing. None of them are ready. Again, as I keep saying, like Fields, they're not playing MAC schools in Illinois and Purdue. I mean, this is pros. They're not ready for that. And Lawrence, he struggled against the Ohio States and the Alabamas and the LSUs. He wasn't very good against them. Mills stinks. I don't get Mills. Just that Houston has a problem, and then Jones. He's probably the best of the bunch. I think Wilson's the best of the bunch on the Jets, but actually the best of the bunch is he's on Tampa and he's backing up Brady right now. The guy from Florida. Trask, he's the best quarterback of the bunch. You'll see that. Now he's sitting for the year. Then if Brady wins the Super Bowl and retires, then he'll be the quarterback. If not, Brady has another year, and then he gets 2 years to watch Brady and learn. Okay, so tonight I like Cincinnati 7.5 over Jacksonville, over under of 46. So what do? I rank the teams. Jacksonville's a Z, and Cincinnati looks pretty good. They're a B team. Well, what's a Z team? Their defense is terrible, and they don't score that much. Lawrence doesn't. He throws too many interceptions. Okay, if we look at the game last week against Arizona, that was my lock. I had Arizona -1. I'm going, there's no way they're losing this game. And it was a little bit competitive, but it was misleading. It's 7-7 going into half, and they try a 68-yard field goal for some reason. And then it gets returned. Like they're not even smart enough to say, you know what, if we miss, we better do it like a punt return. So they weren't set up to tackle the guy. That's ridiculous. So that was 7 of the 19 points that or 6 of the 19 points that Jacksonville got. And he threw that terrible interception. What I didn't like is he smiled after it. It was a sarcastic, like, oh shit, I made him, but he was off his back foot floating a ball, and it was easily pick 6. So they really only scored 13 there, and they only scored 13 in the first game when they got a real late touchdown. So they're scoring a little. He'll have one touchdown or so, but you can't count on him for a lot. But what I liked in Cincinnati was their defense against Pittsburgh. They just shut down Roethlisberger, who's been doing it for a while. And so when I look at the quarterback, Burrow, 20 times better than Lawrence. Jamar Chase is making a big difference. He caught 2 touchdowns, a lot of good catches, and they already have the chemistry from LSU, so it's not like they got to get used to each other. That's a big plus for Cincinnati, but I like is their defense looks better. So I like Cincinnati tonight. It's 4 o'clock. I think the game's at 8. So Cincinnati minus 1.5, a very strong play, especially after watching the Pittsburgh. It's one thing to have Burrow, but their defense looks good. So you get that defense, they'll blitz the hell out of Lawrence. They were blitzing the hell out of Roethlisberger. Lawrence cannot handle a blitz, just like Josh Allen, just like Fields, like all these guys. They don't know how to read it. They don't know how to get rid of it. What is so good about Brady? He gets rid of the ball in 2 seconds. He knows when the blitz is coming, and he tells his receiver, the number 22 is coming. You go to there, and I'm going to hit you in 2 seconds. These guys are holding the ball for 6-7 seconds like it's like they're in college. So that's their biggest problem. They can't understand the blitz. So that's why we're betting against them. Is like Cincinnati's going to blitz them to death, and so it's hard to bet over unders. I don't see where they're going to score a lot. So again, let's just blindly. There's no spread. Cincinnati, Jacksonville. Give me a score, 20-0 Cincinnati. That's how I see it. Maybe a little bit more, but at the end of the day, that's about maybe they get into the 20s and Jacksonville maybe scores 7. Now we look at the line, 7.5. I go, well, I think Cincinnati's going to win. I'll lay 1.5. That's how you pick. Pick it blindly. Who's playing? Predict the score. Just the general, and then you work on the line from there. Going, well, that line's way too high, or that line's way too low. That's where you start getting the value in the lines. So take Cincinnati minus 1.5. When you can't trust the other team to score, then you take the team. In other words, if Jacksonville scored a lot and Cincy scored a lot, I'd go, let's go over because I'm afraid the team that can score is going to win the game. So I'll go over. But in this case, I'm not scared of Jacksonville scoring a lot. I don't think they'll score much, but I know Cincy will score with Burrows and Chase. So therefore, I'm going, take Cincy's going to score. I don't trust Jacksonville to score. So lay the 1 point. I mean, that's nothing. And that's what I like about pros. Not only when you're analyzing the stats, they're all pros. So it's not like they're playing Delaware or, in college, they play these weak Division II teams, and you got to throw the stats out the window. Here, they're all playing pro teams. Some might be playing an easier schedule, but at the end of the day, that's what happens. So now you've gotten 3 games in. Now they've got preseason out of the way. They've got their there goes my sneeze again. They've got preseason out. Now they've got their win. They're in shape. Now you see what they have. You see about the injuries, the quarterbacks. And so now you can really judge teams. So let's go into my stats, which, again, it's hard to get them with all these new quarterbacks and coaches. Really, I think you can go a couple years back, but that's it. So my first stats are going to be looking at the teams. So when I look at the teams, I look at the points. And it's a general to rate the team. Are they over or unders? So when I look at this, my first thought is overs. So the high scoring teams, Tampa, Arizona, the Rams, Buffalo, KC, Oakland, Minnesota, Cleveland, and Frisco. So that's basically 29 and up. So I basically have an idea who scores a lot for over and unders. Who are the worst teams? Well, under 20. You're not even scoring 20. Giants, Indy, New England, Jacksonville, Pitt, Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, and the Jets get 7 a game, if you can believe that. So that tells you, do I want to bet the game under, or when I bet the strong team against the weak team. The team that scores a lot should score a lot, unless you run into a unique team like an under, which is like New England. They score 18, but they only give up 17, so it's harder to score on them versus Jacksonville, where they score 18 but give up 30. Well, I know I'm going to score on Jacksonville. They're not going to give me much back, but New England, they're going to play tough D, so it's just food for thought. Now we look at the best defensive teams that are 20 and under. Denver's the best at giving up 9. Carolina 10, Philly 12, New Orleans 14, Buffalo 15, New England 17, Cincinnati 18, and then San Diego and Cleveland give up 20, and the Rams 21. So basically, there's only a handful that are under 20. And again, Denver is at the schedule. Carolina is definitely the schedule. And we'll get a better feel. Now, Philly's in here, and they gave up 41 to Dallas. So they play the Niners and Atlanta. So Atlanta, I don't know what their problem is. The Niners scored 17. It's kind of crazy. And then Dallas lights them up. So you get 2 reads on that game. You go, Dallas's offense is very good. And Philly's defense is not as good as I thought, or that's the matchup. Then the last thing I do is I mark the teams A through Z by points. So Buffalo, there's 6 teams, or no, there's more. I look at the positive teams, which means Buffalo scores 31, gives up 15. So they're a positive 16. So they're theoretically the best team, even though they're not really. And then I got Denver at 17, Carolina at 13, Arizona at 13, the Rams at 11, New Orleans at 10, Cleveland at 9. So those are the top teams scoring and giving up the less. So that's how you rank it. Now, again, is Buffalo and Denver and Carolina the best? I don't think Carolina is the best, and especially with McCaffrey out. But that's what you got to look at. That's a lot of it is in this 3 weeks is scheduling, right? After about 6 weeks, then you can take this stat seriously, but you can get an idea for overs and unders and just ranking teams, what's going on. Now my favorite is looking at the team personality trend. So let's look at 2021. So this is the 20 plus the 3 games of 21. And let's see, my computer gets slow, even though it's brand new. It's a Google Chrome, and I hate it. Don't ever get Google Chrome, get Microsoft. Okay, so let's just look at the top teams here. Tampa Bay, 78%. The Giants are 79%. So even a bad team can cover a lot. They're probably getting a lot of points. Cleveland, 76%. And then Miami is 84%. And Buffalo is the best at 86%. A winner. San Diego is 84. And then Seattle, 75. Seattle's slipping a little. They I didn't know what happened with them at Mini. They had 17-7 and they didn't score again. And it didn't make sense. So Minnesota, I don't know. Is their defense coming on, or how did San Diego not score the rest of the game is a big mystery. The teams you go against, Kansas City, 82%, San Diego, 84% also, meaning all their games are close. So when they're 7-0 against as a home favorite, 4-3 as a home favorite. So you're better off taking them against. But on the road, they're 10-0 and they're 7-3 against. So that's where they pick up the 3. So it all depends where San Diego plays. If they're at home, you bet against them. If they're on the road, you take them. But there's the stats bearing it out. The Jets, 89%. Houston, 84%. Jacksonville, 84%. Cincinnati, 79%, but it's coming down because they're getting better. Philly, 84%. The Giants, 84%. Atlanta, 79%. Detroit 84, and Mini 79, and that's coming down a little. So Cincinnati and Minnesota are getting better, but their stats are mostly last year's and a little of this year's. So I'm really looking at the last 20 games, and it just shows you. So if you're looking for a bet, like bet against Houston, bet against Jacksonville, bet against Detroit, I mean, that just sticks out. The 84% are crazy. If you're looking who to bet on, there's Buffalo 86. Not necessarily Miami, but I think they're better with Brissett. San Diego, but you can go either way with San Diego's games. And then the Giants, I don't know what they're doing in there. And then like Tampa, well, that's all Brady. That's all Brady last year and this year, 18-5. They're a road favorite this week. They're 7-2 as a road favorite. Let's go back one more year. And now you get a little bit more flavor. Although, yes, you have new quarterbacks, new coaches, and you just got to have to make do. That's why I don't think it's prudent to go back more than this year. Maybe 18 you can do, provided, if you can. There's certain teams that are still, like I think San Diego is now I think they have a new coach. So pretty much maybe you can go 3 years. So here's 19 and 20, and then 3 games of this year. New Orleans 76%, mostly with Drew Brees. Baltimore 76%. Buffalo 85%. So Buffalo showing consistency, and that is with Josh Allen. San Diego 77, KC 76. Going against, again, San Diego 86%. And that's the beauty of the teaser. You can bet on or bet against them. Now here's San Diego, bet against home favorite 12-0, and as a road dog 12-0 if you take them. So again, this is the personality of the team. They're lousy. What do we got this week? We got them hosting Oakland, laying 3.5. They're a home favorite. So what do? We take Oakland because San Diego is 12-0 bet against as a home favorite. That's with Herbert as the quarterback for. I think he's been there 2 years now. I think it's 19-20. But maybe it's just 20. But anyway, it's still 12-0. Houston and Indy are 78%. Jacksonville 77%. Cincinnati 80%, which, when they're bad teams, they usually don't cover. The Giants at 80%, Philly at 78%, Detroit at 86%. So Detroit's a good bet against team. So we have the flavor now of the team, right? Oh, yeah, I bet against Detroit. I bet against the Jets. I bet against Indy most of the time. I bet against San Diego, depending on the role, and I bet against the Jets. And then I take the stronger teams, Buffalo, Kansas City, some Baltimore, New Orleans, Tampa. Green Bay's not quite there yet. So, but I have it broken out by category. So now look at, this is really the map I use, right? So this tells me, are you an AZ or team or a Z team based on your points, based on watching them? Then I get this knowing, well, who should I bet on based on the trends of the team's personality, home or road, favorite or dog. And then I got to map the puzzle. Okay, Jacksonville's playing Cincy. What do I do? And so you look at Jacksonville. They're 11-4 as a road dog if you take them or not since 19. But now you've got Urban Meyer and you got Lawrence. So now we're betting against the new quarterback. Cincinnati is a home favorite, is 2-1, 3-0. Again, they're not a home favorite often. But with Burrow, they're starting to be more. So this is more of a sight play. I'm betting against Lawrence tonight. Then I have a big trend. But just because you have a big trend is not the end-all, be-all. Oh, they're San Diego. Let's just bet Oakland. Well, does it fit? So then we get into looking at, okay, let's see the last 5 or 6 games in the series of teams that play each other a lot. So Detroit, Chicago, the last 5 have been close, which means tease the dog. either if it's in Chicago or Detroit. So that's your history. If it's Dalton, then your hope it's Field. If it's Fields, I'm all over Detroit, even though Detroit is a heavy bet against. With Fields, Chicago's not going to do anything. With Dalton, I'm more scared of Dalton. I think Chicago wins with Dalton. They don't win with Fields. Let's go. So now you got the Rams in Arizona. They're in the same division. Murray against Stafford. So it's a little bit new. You got a new quarterback in Stafford. LA's won the last 8. So this is a trend that LA, they don't have a problem with Murray, which is good because some teams have trouble with the running quarterback. Dallas showed they don't when they beat Philadelphia and Hurst tried to run. And here you have LA does not have a problem with Murray beating them the last 4 times they played. So this is in LA. They're laying 4.5. Over under 54.5. You could play the game over because Arizona will score and the Rams will score. But laying the 4.5, you could take 1.5 in LA in a series where LA wins it. And that's really where you're trying to go with it. Is do I take Arizona in the game? Are they good in this matchup? And it's no, LA is the matchup. Now we go down to Frisco, Seattle, and we go Wilson against Garoppolo. I like Wilson better. This is all Seattle. The last 6, 7, 8 games have been all either won or covered by Seattle. San Francisco is a 3-point favorite. Now, what happened to Seattle last week in Minnesota? In the second half, they don't score. It's very unusual. They blew a lead against Tennessee, but it was 34-33, and they beat Indy with Wentz. So it's hard to – so it's like, okay, they had a bad second half against Minnesota. Here's a team they always play well, even in the Harbaugh days. It's all Seattle. They're getting points. And then we go, well, let's see, Seattle is a road dog. They're 7-1 as a road dog since 19, and they're much higher when you go back to 18. Here you can use it because you've had Coach Pete and Russell Wilson together for 8-9 years now. So this trend we can use. So we go back to 18, and sorry for the delay. Okay, so if we go back to 18, they're 13-1 as a road dog, Seattle. And we look at Frisco as a home favorite, and they're 11-9, 14-6 against. Let's use 19 with Garoppolo and Shanahan for sure. They were there 19, and they are 9-7, 11-5 against. So they're not a great home favorite. And like I said last week, there's very few teams that are very good home favorites. There's good road favorites, and there's a lot of good road dogs, but there's not a lot of teams that are good home favorites. Even the Rams are 9-4 as a home favorite. They're not, 12-1 as a home favorite. So here again, Seattle is a road dog in a series that they beat Frisco regularly. They're both over teams based on the stats so far. Seattle gave up 30 to Minnie. They gave up 33 to Tennessee. They did, shut down Indy. Frisco gave up 30 to Green Bay. I don't know what was with the Philly game, 17-11. And against Detroit, it was high scoring. So you could get a high scoring game with these two. Russell Wilson will bounce back. Now, they've lost 2 games in a row. And this is where Seattle, I will not bet against them here. This is a good Seattle in 9. They must win. They've lost 2 in a row against the team they normally win. Frisco with Garoppolo, the running backs are injured. It doesn't show me that. Their defense, Minnesota's defense looked pretty good. So I would think Seattle, it's Seattle. They're not going to have trouble moving. They'll figure it out. Russell Wilson, still Russell Wilson if he doesn't throw the interceptions. So here's where you have the matchup, but this time it's Seattle, LA, Arizona's LA. And Oakland, San Diego is the last 2 division teams playing each other. Carr against Herbert. It's a pretty much dead heat. I like both quarterbacks. This one is the dog has won the last 5. So if you tease the dog, The last 5 are good. So that gives you an edge to Oakland. And then we see San Diego as a home favorite, 12-0 against since 2019. Oakland's not a great road dog. They're 8-4, but they're getting better. Let's go back to 18, just to see San Diego as a home favorite. I think they had Rivers back then. Let's see. San Diego is a home favorite, 17-2 against, 89%. Oakland, 11-10 as a dog. So you're really betting against San Diego as a home favorite in this thing. So this is an Oakland play all the way, 3.5. Oakland's playing well. They beat Baltimore, they beat Pittsburgh, and they beat a good Miami. See, so Miami's defense is a very strong defense, as we pointed out. So if Oakland can move on Miami, so that's how you look at it. Oakland can move on Miami, they can move on San Diego. I like San Diego's defense, but it's not that good. Miami's is better. And if we go to my other chart, and then we'll get a better look at what I'm talking about. And San Diego did play Dallas. So if we go to the chart defensively, so wow, Miami gives up 27. I thought their defense was better. My mistake. San Diego's is 20. So yeah, Miami's is worse. I think the Buffalo game, they lost 45-0, and I don't know that the defense let it all up on that. But Miami, and then they gave up. So yeah, but still, to move on Miami's defense is a very good thing to do. They usually have a very good defense. So let's go down the lines. Washington laying 1, 48. Chicago laying 3, 42. Tennessee laying 7.5, 45. Cleveland laying 2, 1.5 I've seen, and 51. Miami 1.5, 43. Dallas 4.5, 50.5. New Orleans 7.5, 43, I think, maybe 42. Kansas City laying 7, 54. Buffalo 16.5. I've seen some 16s, 47. Rams 44 or 4.5, 54.5. Frisco 3, 52. Denver, I got 1.5 and 2, 44. Green Bay 6.5, 45.5. Tampa Bay 6.5, 49. And San Diego 3.5, 52.5. So my first flush, where are the bad quarterbacks? Jacksonville, if Fields plays Chicago, Wilson at the Jets, Mills at Houston, and Jones in New England are all rookie quarterbacks. We have I don't see a lot of over-unders. The over-unders are where 2 over teams play each other, 2 unders. And I see Cleveland, Minnesota. I like that game over. Mini and 8's probably good also. Dallas. Now, before I wouldn't play this game, I would just probably play a dog in the game. But Carolina has a good defense, but Dallas just shredded Philly's defense, who was just as good. They won't have a problem with Darnold if they held Hurts. Also, McCafferty's out. The running back pulled his hamstring, so he's gone. That's a huge loss for Carolina. I'm not sold on Darnold. And then they did pick up a good receiver, and I think it's Moore from Maryland, I think, is on Carolina. I think one of those guys, one of those Big Ten flyers they got. So they got a really good receiver. But the way Dallas is looking now, here's the problem when you're gambling or trying to forecast. You can't look at Monday night and say, oh, well, they put up 42 on Philly. They're going to put up 42 on Carolina. It's all different. They're not. They're different schemes. They're different coaches. They're different players. So you've got to just look at this game independently. And that is the biggest problem most gamblers have, is they're looking at last week's game going, oh, Dallas killed them. Oh, they're going to kill them again. And that doesn't – it's They're not at home against Philly. They're at home against Carolina. Or, the Rams aren't hosting Tampa Bay. Seattle's not at Minnesota. Baltimore's not at Detroit. Green Bay's not at San Francisco. So, look at Green Bay. They're not at Frisco. They're home, and they're playing Pittsburgh. So, whatever you saw in the Frisco game, it can help you a little. Yeah, Rodgers looks good. Their defense is starting to look better. San Francisco doesn't run the ball down their throat like I feared they might. But now they're at home against Pittsburgh, so you get a whole different flavor. So you got to fit the puzzle for each game. It's a different puzzle. It's like doing a Rubik's Cube. You got to now solve it. So you're solving, how's this game going to do? How's this matchup? So Cleveland, Minnesota, they're both going to score a lot of points. I was hoping Minnie was the favorite. I would take Cleveland as the dog, although Minnie is a home dog, just beat Seattle, which I'm using as a reference going, well, they put up a lot on Seattle, who's got a weaker defense than Cleveland. Cleveland's got an okay defense. This will not be like Fields, where we got sacked 15 times and threw for 50 yards. Minnesota will put up a much bigger struggle here. But I think if you look at 51, you tease it to 45, it's 24-21. There's no way these teams don't get in the 20s. That's not a lot of scoring for a Cleveland and a Minnesota, for Mayfield and Cousins. So you're looking at the quarterback for over-unders. You got two good quarterbacks. You got great receivers on both teams. The defenses are only so good. There's so many interference and hands to the face and holding calls that you can throw up with already. So it's really hard to play defense in the league. So that's why this should be a over game. So I like this game over. Indy Mini, Wentz against Brissett. It looks like Wentz, he's not on the injured list. Brissett is a much better quarterback, as I told you last week. He almost beat Oakland. Tagliabue with those 5-yard passes, and it wouldn't have been a competitive game. Brissett's a better quarterback as Miami, a whole different flavor. And Miami's laying 1.5 against an injured Wentz and Indy that doesn't look good. Both teams I have are unders. They're both kind of score and give up about the same, both in the 20s. Over under 43. I don't really love the game anyway. I wouldn't take Indy as the dog. It's hard to take Miami. Probably Miami and 4.5 is more the bet, but I don't really like it. That's a game I'll watch, but can I bet against Indy every week with Carson Wentz? Pretty much. Against most good teams, I would. Dallas, Carolina, Dallas 4.5. The trend is mostly on Carolina. Dallas is not a great home favorite, although they are playing better, and I do love Kellen Moore is their offensive coordinator. I think he's great. He's got all that Boise offensive coordinator experience, being the quarterback there for 4 years. Now, what gets you is McCaffrey out, keeps me away from Carolina, and then Dallas off the Monday night win. Are they going to keep lighting it up? Now, they played very good against San Diego, and then they played extremely well against Philadelphia. So two good defensive teams. Here's another good defensive team in Carolina. So hard to tell. Hard to take Dallas as a home favorite. That's why I didn't play the game Monday night. But I can't play Carolina without McCaffrey, and I can't trust Darnell until he shows me something. So if Carolina wins this game, I'll be on Carolina. But at this point, I think Dallas wins the game. You got an over team playing an under team, and the odds are, and the over under is 50. I can't do anything with this game. This game's a nothing. Let's go. Buffalo, Houston. Buffalo laying 16.5. I mean, I love Buffalo going against Mills. Buffalo covers all the time, but I can't lay 16.5. Means I got to lay 10.5 in the pros. As bad as Mills is, the only reason I would. Over under is 47. I can't count on Mills scoring points. So even though Houston's an over team, not with Mills, with Tyrod Taylor. If Tyrod Taylor's playing, I'm all over Houston getting 23. But the spread wouldn't be, it'd probably be 9 or 10 with Tyrod Taylor. So with Mills, I can't expect any points. Buffalo lanes 16.5, so much. So I can't really go over. Probably more of an under 27-0, I guess. Buffalo would be my pick, but I can't lay 10.5 in the pros. I like the Rams, as I said. The matchups in the series are them. Seattle's a great road dog. The Rams are a decent home favorite. Arizona, well, let's see, what's Arizona since 19? Arizona's 11-1 as a road dog. The Rams are 9-4. So the tendency here is Arizona is a strong dog. So Arizona at 10.5 is probably good. The Rams getting 1.5 is probably good because they've won the last 8. So the Rams know how to defend Murray. He doesn't hurt them. You could play the game over 54.5, those 48.5. The Stafford and Murray should score. LA's defense, Brady got 24 on him. Probably should have got some more. Indy moved on him, got in the 20s. So, yeah, I can see this game going over also. Seattle's all Seattle. Tease the dog. Seattle in the series. Seattle after 2 losses. This is all Seattle in this game. Tampa Bay, New England. Tom Brady coming home. Against Jones. Mac Jones is hoping that he's hoping Tennessee's on the schedule this year. Let's change that to he hopes Florida State's on the schedule this week, or Texas, El Paso, or New Mexico State. But he's not getting them. He's getting Tampa Bay. Brady coming home. Gronk coming home, even though Gronk's not going to play. All they got to do is win. They're laying 6.5. The defense will struggle a little. Brady practiced against the defense for 20 years. He knows what he's going to get. He's got the offense to put up numbers, and New England does not have the offense to match them. Tom Brady will win this game as a 20-year revenge game. And then the last game's Oakland, San Diego. San Diego laying 3.5. I like Oakland. The dogs, the last 5. San Diego bet against as a home favorite. It's terrible. And that goes for 3-4 years. So it is including Herbert. Even then, they're still not they didn't beat Dallas at home. And when you play each other, Oakland plays San Diego twice a year. So when you play each other, it's not like you know what to expect. Oakland knows what to expect from Herbert, and San Diego knows what they're getting with Carr. I mean, they already know it. They've seen it. So there's no surprises. And Oakland traveled well at Pitt, and it's Monday night. And if Ken Stabler was playing, we know Oakland would win because they won every Monday night. They were like 17-1 Monday night. Anyway, that's what I see. So the main pick, if you can get it, take Cincinnati tonight. If you don't see the video till after tonight, don't play them. Play Seattle and play the over in the Cleveland game or Oakland. Those are your few picks and your analysis. Again, you're betting against weakness. That's why we're betting against these terrible new quarterbacks. Will they get better? I don't know. I mean, Justin Herbert is already there. It didn't take him a year of watching to get better. Richard had a message. Retracted. Daryl. Carolina has a good defense. Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, but so did Philadelphia had a good defense, and so did San Diego, and Dallas won those. So that's what I'm saying. It's a game to watch. I don't think you're going to get 42-21 in it, but it's hard to bet without McCaffrey to take Carolina. Brissett, little revenge. Indy did him wrong. Contract. Yep, I absolutely. Miami's defense, though, is a lot weaker than I thought, giving up 27. So it's very hard to look at Indy there or Miami, although Miami's not great at home. That's the problem with them. Like I said, there's not really good home favorites with the trend. So, yeah, it's a tough game. I would probably, if I had to take, I would probably take Miami with Brissett in revenge. Wentz stinks, so actually Brissett's the better quarterback in this game. Nick, I think of Raiders can win Monday night. They should be considered seriously. Usually they fall off the second half of the year. Yeah, well, I know you're a Raider fan. So, yeah, I mean, I just gave you, I like the Raiders. I was looking at the stats, not the screen, so I'm back to the screen. That's the trend in the series. San Diego's a weak home favorite. They got Bosa and they got the safety who's always injured playing. Absolutely. I mean, definitely I like the Raiders. Hoping that super teaser hits, trying to play one every week. If you've got to play all pros, if you can play one all college, I can easily give you 10 college picks. It's a shame you can't mix it. You can on other sites. So if you go onto a Bodog or something, you can play. I played 6-7 team teasers where you can mix, so you get the best pros with the best college. If you're in Vegas, they have the teasers ties win card, which is good because you know how that one teaser. Now I don't know how everybody has it. Some guys, you tie the teaser, you lose. Some guys, you tie the teaser, nothing happens. So if it's a 4-team teaser, it becomes a 3-team teaser. If it's a 2-team teaser, you get your money back. And then you get these ties win cards in Vegas, which I love. So you bet them. If you tie, you win, actually. It's not considered a loss. Bodaga, yeah. And Bodog and Bodaga, I think, are two different things. Maybe Bavara or something. But those older sites that have been on the internet from Costa Rica are much better than not very good. So watch the Bears. If Fields or Dalton play, it's a big difference. If Fields play, then bet huge on Detroit because they've shown they can move on Green Bay. They moved on Baltimore. They almost had Baltimore. But, by the way, Baltimore was my lock last week, laying 1.5. So I had a feeling they were going to win. What else are we watching? Just follow any line movements. If LA goes down to 3, take LA. Right now they're 4.5. Probably a good over bet. Seattle getting 3, getting 9. Absolutely. You can probably bet it over 2. Both teams are over. There's a lot of over versus unders this week, like Tampa Bay, New England. You can't really go over on the game because New England's not going to score and they got a good defense. But I see, pick the game, Tom Brady, 27-3. I mean, their defense is going to play. They've lost 2 games in a row, by the way. To Tampa? No, they just lost to the Rams. So Tampa will be pissed after the loss and after New England. KC's the team off of 2 losses. Look for them to pound the Philadelphia, especially as bad as Dallas may expose Philadelphia. So KC will take advantage of that. Andy Reid's got a bone to pick with Philadelphia. And so you have that. And then do they know how to play this running quarterback and Hurst? That's the issue. That's where my Buffalo College has a problem with these running quarterbacks. One note, I was watching some highlights. I was watching the BYU South Florida game to see why the hell I lost that game. And South Florida's got a quick running quarterback, but BYU basically didn't play the second half. They didn't keep going. They had 35. They had them like 35 to 13, and they just didn't keep going. And they didn't score more. Played the clock. And this is what you worry about when you're playing a team. Are they going to keep going? They get the comfortable lead. That's why it's hard to lay a lot in college. And then South Florida's quarterback almost looked like Quentin Flowers. He was a fast guy. He had a pretty good arm, but he was fast and elusive. And it was like, you can't rush him with linemen. You got to rush him with safeties. You got to blitz him with corners. You need speed on him to get him. The lineman, he just jukes around. He can pass okay. So South Florida is not the Z team I thought where they couldn't score. Somebody asked if that's a good over with SMU. And yeah, absolutely. Although they asked that oval's really high. But be careful on that. But like I said, I have this premonition watching the Arkansas A&M game. This Georgia-Arkansas game is going to be low scoring. very low, I believe. And I didn't lock the game, but I was thinking about it very seriously. But I've already played my lock. I have one strong lock. So I already played twice, and I superstitiously do not like to play the team in 3 teasers because they lose, you lose 3 teasers. So I can live with losing 2 teasers, and that's a good strategy. But I don't want it. But Nick, if you're going to play a 6 or 7 team teaser, play the lock, and then play this Georgia under, and whoever I put Georgia under with, definitely. Gives you 4 games right there, and I just gave you 3 or 4 pro games. So that's what you do. But if you can get teaser cards, the ties win teasers, you can make a lot of money there. It's pretty good odds. You pick 7, 8 games, you start getting some decent odds. But in these high odds, in picking 9, 10 games, you can't bet $500 on it unless you really got a lot of money. The average better, you bet 10, $20, 7, 8 strong games, maybe 10 games. If you really love all the games, that's about as high as you should risk it because it's really hard to hit all 10. Fortunately, that one week I hit the 11 and the 10, and I had like $20 and I won like 500 on both of them, 500 and 500. So for 40 grand, I bet, or for 40, I bet I won $1,000. And what a weekend that was. Unbelievable. But that's how you play it. So, yeah. So I think that's it with the pros. You want to look for the trends. So you got LA wins, Seattle's good, the dog in the Oakland game's good. You bet against the Lawrences, the Fields, the Wilsons. So let me know if there's any other questions or comments. Again, the lock this week, strong lock, college pro, love it. It's both should be like Arizona last week, which was my lock. Last week was Arizona over Jacksonville. Should be about the same, if not more. Again, go to the site, www.teaserking.com, and just purchase the picks. You go to PayPal. You don't need a PayPal account, just credit or debit card, and just pay. And then go back to the website. It'll give you the password. Then you go on to the picks page, and you just type in the password, and you see my picks. But this is a very good week for it. I have a good 8 college games, and I got 6 or 7 pros, a big lock in the pros, and then I just gave you a few. So, again, as the weeks go on, you have a much better, like Dallas. Dallas's offense looks incredible. Doing what they did to San Diego and Philly, 2 good defensive teams. And really, how good's Carolina? They played the Jets. They played, I think, Atlanta. So they played teams that have no offense. And then last week, what did they do last week? Carolina, they played Houston. So again, they played Mills. So they played the Jets in Houston. Do they really have a good defense? Now we'll see. This is the only problem with not enough statistics. You can't make a case with 3 games. You can get kind of a judge, and you can kind of judge it over the last few years. So I can look at 3 years of trends and get, okay, San Diego's a terrible home favorite, and Seattle's a great road dog. It's been the same, Coach Pete and Russell Wilson. But what I do with the over-unders, I got to kind of feel the team and watch them. So I don't know if by the numbers, like Philadelphia is a good under, but watching Monday night, they're not. Carolina beating the Jets, Atlanta, and Houston, I don't know that they have a good defense. I do like Matt Rule, the coach. He had a strong defense at Temple, and he had a strong defense at Baylor. I can't tell you he's got a strong defense until this game. Now, if they hold Dallas under 20 points, and I don't believe they can, then I'll say, yeah, they got an elite defense. But right now, I can say Denver, I think, has the best defense. That'll be an interesting game, Baltimore Denver this week. Denver laying 1.5. Normally, I love Baltimore as the dog. This is a game that there's so many injuries on Baltimore. Now, 2 key injuries on Denver, both Judy and Hamlin. Their ace receivers drafted high last year are both injured and both out. So now you got a Denver team without their best receivers against the Baltimore team without their running backs and half their team. So it's going to be Lamar Jackson against Teddy Bridgewater. And, if it gets you get 2.5 or 3, I'd be interested in Baltimore getting 9 points. Nobody beats Baltimore by 9. Certainly not Denver. I do like Bridgewater, though, as their quarterback, much better than Locke. See, that's the difference. Locke comes in, he doesn't look all that good. Bridgewater's played for Minnesota and a few other teams. New Orleans, he's a good quarterback, so I don't mind him. I'm not betting against him, but the new guys, none of them should be in play this year. The worst thing you're doing is to Lawrence and to Wilson and to Jones is playing them. They should not be. Brady didn't play his first year, neither did Mahomes, and I don't think Montana did. I think he sat out. They had Steve DeBerg. I think Montana came in like week 11 or week 12, and then the following year he came in. They got to figure out what's going on, and it's totally different than college. Like I said, no Ohio State quarterback's ever done anything. Well, why? They all look great at Ohio State. And then, by the way, Stroud comes in for Ohio State, and he looks like a superstar after 5 games. So, really? So, anyway, be careful there. But watch the late line movements. I'll try to do a thing maybe Saturday morning and Sunday morning with just updates on the lines. If there's interest in that, I'll do it. Normally, I come on to give my picks and my analysis, but I can certainly talk line movements, injuries that happen Saturday and Sunday. And, like Chicago, is Fields playing or Dalton? I can certainly tell you that Sunday. Come on 10 o'clock Eastern time and give you that. So, anyway, be careful of Buffalo. Yeah, they should kill them, but it's a big number. Picture the score of the Denver-Baltimore game. That's your homework. Denver plays Baltimore in Denver. Give me a score. That's the homework. I want answers. When you can do that, then you can bet, because then you can say, this is what I think will happen. Hoping to build bankroll if I can hit 1 or 2 super teasers. Yeah, or just hit the locks and bet them good. And maybe trap a few of these games. Maybe put a college with the pro and trap it, Nick. So in other words, I gave you the Georgia under, right? Georgia, Arkansas under, and maybe play that with Oakland. And if Georgia wins, then you can bet San Diego laying 3.5 and trap the game. You can't lose because you've already won the Georgia side. So now let's say you bet $100. You got Oakland at 9.5. You've already won Georgia. So if they win, you win 100. Then you can come back and maybe bet 50. You could even bet 100 on San Diego. But it's better to bet like 50 because you've already got the 9.5 in Oakland. And then if the game, if Oakland wins, you win your 100, you lose 55. If San Diego blows them out, you only lose 50. And if San Diego wins by 4, 6, 7, or you get a line where you're laying 3, you win San Diego for 50 and you win Oakland for 100. So that's a good way to kind of restrict your losses and help you build your bankroll. Again, the locks are the locks. That's what you want to focus. Hopefully those hit, and then you go from there. But it's a long season, Nick. You just keep going. There's good games every week, and you try to focus on that. And just lower your amounts if you need to until we get more on a winning streak. But on the locks, I'm 6 for my last 6. So I'm hot on my locks. One year I went 35-5 on my locks. It was unbelievable. 35-5. It was the year Carolina went to the Super Bowl. I bet 4 locks a week and they'd all win, and 4 locks, and it just kept going. 35-5. So I'll never forget that Thanksgiving. Carolina was playing Dallas. Carolina was a lock. Carolina blew them out. It was just unbelievable. So, yeah, when I get on fire, I get on fire, and that's what we're waiting for. So, again, the locks, 4-0 2 weeks ago, 2-0 last week, 2 good ones. Plus Georgia kind of is a lock, but I'm not locking it. And that's about it. So have a great weekend, everybody. Please go to the site, www.teaserking.com. You can email me with questions, comments. The package is very affordable. The locks are $75. If you want to buy the pros and the college, it's $149 I think it's 125 for everything, or buy the monthly. A lot of people buy the monthly. It's 300. You get 4 weeks. Or a lot of people will buy in the yearly, where it's only $750 for the year. I'll give it to you for $7 or $650, and you get the rest. You get everything for pros, college, and the locks till the Super Bowl, until the College Bowl. So that's really the best way you can hear me here. I go through the games, but I'm not, who am I betting on and how much am I betting? That's not revealed here. So you have an idea that I'm taking Seattle, but you don't know where I'm putting it, how much, how many teasers. And that's the beauty of the teasers. It's how you pair them together and everything. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Good luck tonight. Take Cincinnati, take Virginia. Derek King's out, the Miami quarterback, so Virginia should roll and get the W. Okay, everybody, good luck. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.